26th episode of You Gotta Believe. And tonight we have a great honor. We're doing an interview with the Blue Devil. First, I'd like to thank God for allowing me to reach this moment in time. And we have great things going on in the United States and in LifeVantage, and we all should be very thankful about it. I wanted to dedicate tonight's call to Coach K, a great leader and patriot who played basketball for Bobby Knight at West Point before he started his incredible run as the coach at Duke. We have Dr. Barbara Borland with us tonight. She is an innovative, dedicated leader and someone who has improved the health care for breast cancer patients in our area tremendously, and I venture to say in the whole country, because of her great idea to form tertiary breast centers where people could get the best possible diagnostic care merged with the best possible surgical and other treatment. So we have a lot of thanks to give to her in her past career, and that's just the beginning, because in her present career, she is doing a tremendous amount for all of us, for LifeVantage and for the Freedom Fighters group that we are part of in this area and throughout the country and Canada. So, Barbara, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself, but also we'd like to know about your road to personal growth and some of the things you've been doing to improve your personal growth so you can help all of our personal growth.
Okay. So where would you like me to begin, Chad?
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the things you're doing outside of LifeVantage to go that extra mile to get yourself in a position of great help and leadership. For example, going to see Eric Worre outside of the LifeVantage meeting and things like that.
Okay. Well, this is the deal, is that I am 62 years old, and I retired now, it's 3.5 years ago. And when I retired, I went from being, quite the, kind of the big shot around town in the circles that I ran around in because of what I did with my career, and had a great career. It was really a blessing, huge blessing. But then I retired. Well, I did have LifeVantage, and I had already been doing that for 2 years. And the combination of being a little adrift in my post-retirement, that age of moving from being very, 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 very busy and very focused into not being real busy and focused. The combination of that with the fact that I was already very involved with LifeVantage and very passionate about the products and actually surprisingly very passionate about the business opportunity, that kind of combined. And what's happened to me over the last 3.5 years is that I have been on a most amazing journey of what do you call it? I guess personal development, life mastery is the term I like to use. And the way I have done that is that I have pursued many, many, many different avenues, because the big question for me was, who am I in this new life that I'm living? Have I climbed the mountain? Is it done? Or do I have more mountains to climb? And do I sit back and just learn how to play golf? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Or am I called to do something of a higher purpose? And so I have combined my fascination with the LifeVantage opportunity with my personal pursuit of purpose and vision. I've always been a person who always had to have a project. I had to have something I was striving towards. I wanted to always be moving forward. And when I retired, I wasn't really certain if LifeVantage was that avenue. So I went on pursuit. I went to Eric Worre last year. I went there to hear his GoPro Mastery. At that point, during that time, there was a 3-hour session by Tony Robbins that totally rocked my whole emotional and spiritual world. And I said, wow, there is someone out there that is really getting this and really delving into the whole aspect of purpose and drive. I tied it in with the Life Vantage opportunity, trying to figure out, what do I want to be in this? Well, and so I have spent the last year, it started out with going to Eric Worre, powerful, powerful program, got an introduction to Tony Robbins. I then entered a 1-year coaching mentorship through the Tony Robbins coaching process. I just went to my first full weekend of Tony Robbins training. And now I'm looking at going to Eric Worre again in December. But in between that, I've pursued other things because my mind had been really inspired to be open to new opportunities and new things that would fit into my Life Vantage career. And I went back to Duke. I went to undergraduate and medical school at Duke, but they had a great program there that I was so interested in. I wasn't sure if it was going to be the right thing for me. Doesn't that sound familiar? Wasn't sure if it was right, but I wanted to check it out. And what it was a course in how to be an integrative health coach, how to talk with people about the issues that they have with their health, how to help them come to recognize the patterns that were maybe not in their best interest, help them come up with patterns of living that would help them achieve their goals and their purpose, and to get them on the right track. And do you know what was the most interesting thing about that, Chad? Was that all of these tools that I learned at Duke for integrative health coaching really tied into how we teach, train, and motivate Life Vantage distributors. So I have had things coming into my life over the last 2 years that have truly enriched my personal growth, but at the same time totally integrated into my Life Vantage career. So I hope that's a reasonable summary of what's happened with that.
I think that's a great summary. I think what we all need to realize is that to be great leaders, we have to improve ourselves, and you have to improve your own value so that you can give that value to your team and to those around you. Because as you grow, then you become a beacon for other people to grow and to follow you up that ladder, up the ladder of success, to climb the mountain, whatever you want to say. Name of these calls.
Chad, do you remember when we went to that, I think it was in Anaheim, and they talked about reaching the hand down to pull people up the ladder?
Absolutely. And I remember my first convention in Salt Lake City, and the whole theme of the convention was ascend. And the theory of the convention was, I lift you, you lift me, and we both ascend together. And that was so incredibly inspiring. That was my first major event, national or international event, and that was such a great theme and such a great motto. So, yes, I remember that for sure. Now, the name of these calls that I do are You Gotta Believe. So I want to ask you, Barbara, why do you believe?
Well, tell me why do I believe in what aspect? So clarify your question, and I'll answer it.
Okay. Why do you believe in Life Vantage, in network marketing, and our products? What causes you to believe?
Okay. Well, as far as the products go, I could never be at a higher level of belief than I'm at right now. My story, and I have to be mindful of the time, but my story is I started out being an incredible enthusiast about the products. And that's because of something personal that happened with my family that was such a belief building event that is not that important, but what is important is that it turned me to look at the science. I said, why the heck did this work when nothing else did. And that spurred me to figuratively put on my white coat again and go back to work and look at the science. And I was blown away. So that's how I started out. But then what happened was that I became so excited about the business opportunity. I'll be very honest, not so, well, yes, excited for me and for my family, but mostly really excited about being able to help so many people that I know who have huge financial struggles, that are looking for an answer, that are they choose to not be stuck with where they are in life, and that I have an answer I can give them that just may be exactly what they're looking for from a financial standpoint. So that was my mid phase of my LifeVantage. And now as I'm kind of looking at the next cycle, I'm still super excited about the business, but I'm falling in love with the science again. I am so overwhelmed with what has happened in the last year with the scientific studies that have come through. You know, the National Institute of Aging showing that Protandim can increase the lifespan of mammals. I'm totally stoked about that. Showing, that, the impact that it has potentially on that NRF2 has potentially on mitigating some problems, neurologic problems. It's just a very exciting thing for me to look at this. Cyclical times in our life, we go through that, and I embrace that. I love the fact that I have gone through several phases in LifeVantage. What I know that the steady constant will be that I will always be here. I will always be with LifeVantage, and I will always be spreading the good news that we have about whatever people need, whether it's health, improved vitality, or financial stability. So that's where I am with my belief. Couldn't be better right now.
Right. It's up there so far that, as I say, when you get so far with your belief that it cannot be changed, then you can call it faith, and faith is
That's
incredibly powerful. You don't need any more proof because it now needs no proof.
Exactly.
So, we're just bringing up the last 4 articles have been unbelievable. You have the National Institute of Aging article where only 5 substances were able to show that they would increase lifespan and health span. And the only one that was a natural substance, not a chemical or medication, was Protandim. That's unbelievable. 5 years equivalent in human beings. So that's incredible. Then you have one showing that osteoarthritis can be mitigated by NRF2 activation, and particularly Protandim injections in joints seem to help the cartilage survive. Then you have the one about oligodendrocytes, done by the same guy who helped develop Tecfidera, because he got so interested in Protandim when he was studying it compared to the precursor of Tecfidera that he wanted to do another study. And this study shows that Protandim has this great effect on the cells that help protect axons and make myelin sheaths, and, the whole concept of demyelinating disease. And, you just have one thing after another. It's when you read the articles and you really go through them, it has to make you relatively astounded. I find the whole thing really astounding.
I agree with you.
When you think about people that inspire you in life, who would you say is one of your heroes, or someone that inspires you to believe, not necessarily LifeVantage, but just to have that belief in yourself, belief that you can do things, belief in the goodness of the world? Who is it that you would say is that inspirational leader to you?
Well, Chad, you will probably guess the answer to that. And, at first I would say my dad, but in reality, it's my Lord and Savior Jesus, because that is I hope I don't offend anybody by saying that, but it is my reality. It is my truth. I absolutely know that my hope and my belief and my purpose is firmly rooted in my Creator. And I honestly, to be totally honest, I look to nobody else other than that.
Well, that is an excellent, excellent answer, and obviously a truthful one, and I don't see how it could possibly insult anyone. But we have to look at something much greater than ourselves, something to aspire to. Not on the good days when it's nice to have that, but on the worst days. Because if we have someone or something or, something we truly believe in that can lift us up when we're really down, that really is powerful. And yes, I thought you would say that, but I share that not in the direct way that you do, but from a belief in God and belief in good versus evil, and the calling that we all have to serve others, to serve family, friends, even strangers. And we're both physicians. We have that calling just in our own professions. But now in LifeVantage, we have the same calling because we can serve people with their health, wellness, and financial needs. So it's
pretty awesome.
Pretty much, yeah. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome. That's right. Wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Barbara. This has really been fun talking to you. I hope everybody enjoyed the call. We'll have a call that'll be a little more dry and science-based next week. I'm going to continue talking about the skin cancer studies. We've gone over one, but I'll do another one next Tuesday. Same time, same bat channel, as they say. Let's all remember that we must lead by example, but a leader develops more leaders, not followers. And remember that in LifeVantage, we make people better, and in doing so, we make the world a better place. Thank you all. It's been really fun, and good night.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, everybody.